Hi guys, welcome back to the 30-day practice blueprint. I'm Don here. You are on day number 2. Day number 1, we went over the 3 different ways to grow your practice. Now I'm kind of setting up a couple of frameworks of how to do things, how to think about things. Because if we don't have frames to put ideas in, we don't know how to kind of grow a practice. The second thing is a concept that I learned from this guy named Joe Polish. Okay, now this is kind of crazy, but let me explain the story. So when I was in residency, I was living at downtown Worcester here, and I went for walks. I didn't have much to do because I was at the hospital at home before I had kids. And I started to listen to this podcast. Okay, it was called I Love Marketing. Okay, and so I kind of always liked marketing since back in Shoal. I was like the president of the practice management club and all this other stuff. It was fun. I went to some of the American Academy of Podiatric Practice Management meetings. I love those, and I was kind of searching around for different things. And this podcast was great. So the funny thing is when it started, I started listening, I think, episode 1 up to episode 99. So they sold this book of first 99 episodes. And the first 99 people to buy it, you had your name written in this book. So I have this book called I Love Marketing. Basically it's transcriptions of the podcast of the first 99 episodes. And they talk about this concept before, during, and after. Okay, and that's where I got this idea. And it's not really complex, but it's something it's good to think about. So let me kind of explain it. So before, during, after is the experience that your patient has before they visit you, during the patient interaction, and then after. So if you have your journal out, I'd like you to take your journal out and you write in on one page, put before, then during, and then after. And then you look at different ways you can, and then you add things to it. So this is the way I would do it. I would say, well, what's working now before, what's not working now, and what are some improvements? Okay, this is a way of thinking and personal improvement that you can do. So let me give an example. So in my practice, what's working really well now is that before people come in, they get an email automated with my welcome packet. It's like a big PDF thing that they can look at, and it kind of wows them. It's called a shock and awe package. That's working well. Also, before patients visit, when they go to our website, they see a lot of great information and a lot of Google reviews. That's working before the visit. Other things that are working before is that we have a good referral relationship with a lot of doctors that's working really well, and they're sending it. So that's before their visit. So doctors are telling them about the practice. Some of the things that aren't working very well, I don't have a good before sequence, such as with AdWords or doing Facebook ads or things like that. That's not a very good thing that's working before. Other things that are working before is book download. So if they go to Dr. Pelto, they can download my books. That's great. They can download the courses that I'm making, things like that. Those are things that are before. Things in improvement that I want to do is learn how to do AdWords more, learn how to focus more on one little niche, learn how to do other types of marketing things. So that's for me. I don't know what it is for you. I'd like you to take your page out and afterwards and write down the things before. During are what are the ways that we kind of wow people during our visit? For us, we have a nice clean office, kind of a minimalist office. We have digital x-ray, diagnostic ultrasound, all these high-tech things that when people come in, we have a nice front office staff. Those are all things that are during the visit that are really kind of wowing patients. And kind of ways we go above and beyond are we take time with the patients. We have all these digital things to check people in, so they don't have to have actual papers. They can do their paperwork before they come in, things like that. That's during the visit. And me specifically, I do some funny things where when I do an ingrown toenail, I'll draw a little smiley face on it. I have little post-op little cards so they can scan to get instructions. During the visit, I also have these things called where I send them patient education information and it asks them for a review. So those are things we do during the visit that kind of wow them. So what do you do? Write it down during, kind of what separates you, okay? And then how can you improve on things? What are things that you'd like to do more of during the visit? Okay, and how can you make that visit better? And then after, how do you follow up with them after? So for us, when they leave, they automatically get an email asking them to do an online review. That's one thing. The patient education genius as well asks them to do a review online. For certain patients, I actually have a way that I use something called Todoist. It's on my browser, and it'll remind me to call these patients afterwards, or after a surgery, I get an automated text message to call my patients to see how they're doing. So there's different things you can do after. So I would evaluate kind of what you're doing currently, before, during, and after. and then what are ways that you can improve before, during, and after. So these little improvements are really what sets you apart. It's not the big things, it's these little things that you do consistently and that you can systematize that would make your life better. Okay, so my challenge is to you, I'm going to put a little link here for I Love Marketing if you want to learn more about that marketing stuff, but you only have so much time, so I would kind of get through this first, then you can look at the other things. Put before, during, after, and I kind of write down and brainstorm things that you do and things that you can make your practice better, okay, in each of those sections. And then I would invite a friend. If you have a partner in the office or another podiatrist that you want to invite, you guys could do this together, okay, and that would be great. So just put their email down there. I will send it to them and invite them, and then I'll also send you a special bonus, okay? What we're doing tomorrow in day number 3, we're going to talk about the 80-20 rule, specifically about how it applies to podiatry. Okay, guys, thanks.